Space Marines. A really strong unit template in HOI4 thanks to exploiting the armor mechanic. But how strong are they really? This is what we're going to test out today. Because today we will defeat the Soviet Union as democratic Estonia. Yes, you heard right. Democratic Estonia. Meaning that we, as this small nation over here, with basically no resources and industry, will try to defeat this giant over here with basically endless resources and industry. So without further ado, Iron Man, historical, and go. As I teased before, our army very weak. We have no manpower. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. And our nation is not really stable. Kind of theme in early game HOI4 with most nations, not gonna lie. But to fix that, we're gonna go down one of the harder paths to do that, the democratic one. Because with the communist one, you can just be kind to the Soviet Union and you can get a lot of manpower from being communist. If you didn't know, there's a good spirit for that. Over here, you can just cuddle up with Germany and get a lot of land this way. But over here, you're basically on your own. So yeah, the era of silence, giving us political power, stability, and activates missions. What are these missions about, you might ask? You have a little bit of a struggle with our ideologies, and if you don't fix that, civil war. Yeah, fun. Anyways, research, obviously, into the tank. Besides that, engineering and production. Industry, we're gonna do something kind of controversial, and day one, build industry. Actually, thinking about it, I did do a test run on YouTube. By the way, if you want to see this, I'm doing YouTube streams now, so the stream does still exist if you want to see those fails. But what we have to do is to kind of build more railway, because if we don't do that, the Soviet Union has a very easy time just interrupting our supply. So I'm gonna put our railway a little bit more inwards. Otherwise, it will just land here and interrupt the supply line. Yeah, I learned it in the test run. I thought this would be a quite easy run because Space Marines strong. Still kind of hard to do if you have no manpower though. Production-wise, infantry equipment and NTR, stuff that we will need. And I guess on the side, we can drill the army a little bit for experience. Let's see how good that works. But, you know, they're not very equipped, so we don't really have anything to lose. So we have finished the era of silence that actually took forever. And I have to get used to that because those are all 70-day focuses. Every single one. The last video I recorded before this was EU Germany, which had 14-day focuses. So this feels like forever now. Anyways, we have to go down immediately here, fight the Webs. I have no idea how you actually say this, so Webs it is. Giving us political power and allowing us to fight them. Because if you might have noticed, after I unpaused the game, we have these events over here going on, where the Webs radicalize themselves more and more, while we are trying to stop them in 260 days. So our mission now is to use the tools from this focus tree, which we unlock once it's done, to kind of keep this down and delay it, so the outcome of this is less harsh. Right now they're on low support, so the outcome is very good. But once it gets to moderate tension and then to high tension, we'll start to have some problems. So TLDR, rush down this focus. But why does it have to be 70 days? This could have been a 35-day focus, no problem. And yes, we will spend the entire early game here. I think we will start building up our industry once we are in the war. Like, I'm not even joking. 70-day focuses take forever. Very important for research, because I really forgot about that in the test run. Support equipment. I have to say, personally, I always underestimate how strong support equipment is and only put it in mid-game, which is a big mistake. Those modifiers can save your life. So this run, I will definitely not neglect them. Anyways, focus is done. We don't need anything over here anymore. A lot of manpower, but not important now. We need to build up an economy now and save our government. So let's do this focus over here for more political power and making this modifier less harsh. Let's go. Because we have right now democratic opposition, which, I mean, we want to become democratic. Right now, we are more authoritarian. So this is a little bit in our way in fixing the nation. But trust me, we will go down the real democratic path. There's kind of a fake one over here where you just stay non-aligned. But we're gonna go this one where you actually become democratic. If you look at the conditions, you might notice there's a lot of things we need to do now. We need less than 5% support in those two ideologies and more than 25% democratic support. Both very much doable, but to make it even more doable, I'm just gonna ban both ideologies. This costs a lot of political power, but trust me, if you don't do that, reducing the support over here is really hard. And later on, this can very much go out of hand. So yes, we are banning those ideologies, basically allowing us to do this focus immediately. And we need to go down this focus as soon as we can. I'll explain later why, but trust me, very important. And I'm explaining so much right now, and I just wanted to do a Space Marine playthrough, but Estonia Estonia can be very complicated, so I'm sorry about all the early yapping. And to yap even more, we unlock these decisions over here. Very important what to choose here, because some decisions are really bad. Like these that cost political power, don't do them. Over here, you gain communism support, and we have to stay under 5%. That is a lot of communism support. No, we're not gonna do that. Over here, we lose unaligned support, which sounds good, but it takes 40 days longer to crack down. That is bad. This over here, literally just good. 2 civilian factories, but the marches take longer. This over here, making the crackdowns faster. This over here, making the marches take longer. And this one too. This one also really good, but not important right now because it will add 30 days next time. So we can wait with that one. Yeah, it took me a little bit to figure out the early game for that, but if you do it like this, you should be able to get this immediately. If you do it slightly differently, good luck. But to be fair, if you don't want to suffer, just don't do Space Marine Democratic Estonia. It's kind of hard. Took way more effort to pull off than I thought it would. And the Space Marines were not the problem. Preparing the nation with a lot of 70-day focuses. That is the problem. Anyways, we're gonna immediately rush down medium tank chassis 2 so we can build the Space Marines as soon as possible. I know it takes longer, but to be fair, there's very limited stuff we need to research. Basically infantry stuff, later on industry stuff. Right now, less important. We don't have an industry. And radio plus anti-air. Like, there's not a lot we need to research. We don't need planes. We don't need navy stuff. We don't need any special tank stuff. We don't need any mechanized. And industry, we need in the late game. Research-wise, we're fine. So, this focus is done. Let's do this one over here next, giving us more democratic support. Once again, improving the modifier and giving us a democratic advisor. To be fair, we don't really need the advisor. We have more than enough democratic support, but the rest is good. And later, he does become useful. Just now, not really. By the way, 15% political power gain, really good. We are nearly at 1 per day. And with this focus also done, we're gonna immediately rush down to the democratic focus. And yeah, it takes 70 days to get 1 civilian factory. This is not an old focus tree, but kind of feels like it. It doesn't have this 35-day focus tree vibe. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Anyways, 2 civilian factories, let's take them. And yeah, moderate tension is not the end of the day. It means that you will lose stability and some popularity. But if you can get it down to low tension, we might not lose any stability, which is quite important because stability will become a very important modifier for our industry. If you look at effects from our stability, they're not looking good. Factory output, political power, we need that. Anti-Comintern pact? Sure, I'll join that. Yeah, apparently I was wrong. We don't get a second raid. I don't know if that event is broken because I don't really get any option. That kind of sucks. Why is there a cooldown then if you can't do it again and the effect is when you click it? What is the cooldown for? Anyways, yeah, the crackdown happened. We lost 10 stability, but to be fair, we also lost a bad modifier, meaning we also gained stability back. Nothing really changed. What we will do now, we will use the political power we couldn't spend before to go to partial mobilization. And this is very good to do right now because later on we have a focus over here that puts us up 1 mobilization law, meaning that if we go now to partial mobilization, this will bring us to war economy for free. And the focuses above it are also really useful. So we're definitely gonna go down here before we go here. And yes, we will get there before the war starts, meaning we will get war economy before the war. So these focuses are done. Nice little modifier here. Let's break the silence, giving us more party popularity, making the Democratic Party the ruling party, and removing the Democratic opposition because we're in government now. Let's go. He might not even notice what is going on because it's kind of looking the wrong direction to see the political chart. He doesn't know we're breaking the silence. And I'm gonna do something a little bit stupid before we actually finish this focus. That is to improve our stability. I'm gonna do improved worker conditions, which for now is fine. We barely have an industry. But on top of that, I'm gonna do anti-democratic raids because stability-wise, this will be a net positive and we will gain back the democratic support anyways. So let's do that. Yeah, right now, nothing changes. And as soon as we lose this modifier over here, we will lose a little bit of democratic support, but not a lot. And we gain 20 right now anyways. New leader. Very cool. And you might ask yourself now, why did we rush down the political path so fast? Because we really need an industry and manpower. And this industry path over here might give us some industry, but it doesn't give us manpower. Over here, we can unite all Baltic nations democratically with a very strong national spirit, giving us industry and manpower. So let's formalize the Baltic Entente and ask our good neighbors, which I will improve relations with, just to be on the safe side, ask to join. By the way, we just became democratic. My people asked to go down to early mobilization, and as their elected leader, knowing best of course, I will ignore what they have to say and just keep partial mobilization. I love democracy. But yeah, we got rid of all of the negative modifiers, we are democratic, and we are researching the tank. Basically, the hard part of the early game is done. And I hope I edited it in a funny way, otherwise this is quite boring. So, focus is done, and with the focus done, we now guarantee everyone, very important here, you have to scroll down and click this this button to formalize the Baltic Entente, otherwise you can't do the next focus. Inviting both of these nations into your faction, and once they join, you can do the Baltic Economic Union. 1 free civilian factory and our first good modifier. Let's do it. We are safe. Something we do really need now is a chief of army. Otherwise, you have no army experience, and that would be bad. We need a lot of it. We need to change the template. We need to build a tank. Yeah, that all costs army experience. Let's get some. I will also stop drilling my troops because that was very expensive. I did already say this in the intro, but we have literally no resources. So yeah, all of the Baltics has 11 steel. Great. So that focus is done. I'm just gonna go down the other focuses, giving us better modifiers, a free military factory, and recruitable population factor. And at the end, merging all of these modifiers into one big one that is slightly better. Wait, how did the Spanish Civil War already end? Early 1938. This was really fast. I think I've never seen that. In the background, our tank has been finished. So I'm gonna build this because it's cheap and very well armored. Basically what you want from a Space Marine anti-attack. Let's build it. On the side, we've acquired a good amount of political power, where we do have some nice advisors right now. Stability here, very good. But what I actually think is really strong, retrade. Because we don't have any resources to give away anyways. So we're not caring about giving away 80% of our resources. Plus we get a 5% increase in construction speed, research, factory output, dockyard output, everything we need. Okay, maybe except dockyard output, but everything else, very important. We've also finished these focuses over here, allowing us to propose a Baltic Union or a very nice modifier. Look at that. And we're gonna do that. So once again, we have good political power. This time, let's get the stability guy. And you say the difference. We have really good modifiers now from our stability, and it can really add up. The production modifiers we get from this is just very nice. And yeah, we've also finished the Baltic Union. Few choices. United but separate. Never do that. Baltic unification, by far better. Another 70-day focus. Not even gonna say that anymore. Airy focus is 70 days. Man, this took forever. We are like down here now, and it's mid-1938. It is not looking good. And we've built 50 tanks so far, and our army is not even close to be prepared. So the focus is done. I think that it joined. Very important now. Something I like to forget. We have annexed them, but not formed the Baltic Union. You have to go down to here now and actually form the nation. So let's unify the Baltics by forming the Baltic Federation, coring all the land and giving us a very cool color. Not gonna lie, this color looks sick. This is one of my favorite colors for a nation. Our flag looks like Victoria 3 Japan, but I'm not gonna complain. We'll look sick. Anyways, focus-wise, we're gonna immediately rush war economy. And I know we could invite the Nordic nations, but I gotta be honest, I don't wanna be in war with Germany. You know, like Denmark, Norway, in our faction would drag in Sweden and Finland too, meaning Germany and the Soviet Union wouldn't just split Poland. No, they would also split the Nordic nations. That sounds dreadful. You know, let's not do that. So I keep Sweden safe by not doing this. You're welcome, Paradox. And we're gonna go economy. On the side, we finally acquired a decent amount of industry. I'm gonna build a few more special things like truck, trains, but the biggest focus is still on the tank. We do really need it. What we can do now is we can choose one division to kind of transform into our Space Marine. And man, some of them are just horrendous. This is just horrible. I think this one over here we can turn into our Space Marine division. 21 with. That sounds kind of cursed. Can we make it better? How about we try to do a very specialized 30 with Space Marine, and we're gonna get it up to 35 with over the time of fighting. This is very ambitious, but it could work. So let's try. All of these divisions on the field turn into this. And yeah, we're missing a lot of equipment now. Oh, I forgot to build artillery. Oh, we're missing a lot of artillery now. Have I ever told you about the international market? A very cool feature Paradox Interactive added, so you can make stupid mistakes and still buy guns before the war starts. I know, amazing. Let's buy some artillery. So we are slowly preparing, and I think we can do a defensive line with something like this. This focus is also finished, giving us a good modifier. Once again, we get a lot of good modifiers. We just don't have manpower or an industry. Next focus, giving us more mills and war support. Very useful. And something I haven't talked about, but you will probably hate me for doing. Remember when I said we don't do Navy? Yeah, I still did that. Still researched the battleship. For the sole reason that in my test run stream, I got personally challenged to build a super heavy battleship while doing this challenge. And I know I shouldn't take this thing serious. I know I should just focus on winning, do the absolute minimum, but I also love memes. So I make it my my personal challenge. I mean, the one before was already a post. Doesn't matter. To build and research the super heavy battleship. But first, we actually need a breakthrough point, so that's gonna take some time. And I've also wasted a lot of industry building this facility, but I don't care. Let's do it. Not gonna lie, I haven't done so much international market in quite a while, but I need guns and I need artillery. And with this focus also done, let's revisit the economic policy for 2 civilian factories and war economy. I'm also gonna buy a few convoys now because I can't produce them and you need them for the international market like a lot. Yeah, should help. So we got war economy, we got more civilian factories. Very important for actually the international market right now. What we have to do now for manpower, really important, is rush down over here to get the recruitable population modifier. Otherwise, we will struggle. I know we're missing a lot of equipment here, but a lot of those emptiness is just manpower. And no, we can't increase the law right now because we're not at war and we're democratic. So yeah, we'll take 140 days though. And the Soviet Union will declare war in like half a year. Yeah, fun. And no, we will not build bunkers. I want to do it the painful way. Space Marine defense only. And yes, we're gonna go down Grand Battle Plan. I just like Grand Battle Plan, okay? And then notice we got 2 submarines. So yeah, we officially have a navy. I just want to announce that. Right here, we have to give away Memel. We can't just fight Germany and the Soviet Union, at least at the beginning. So we're gonna give that away. But to be fair, there's like 1 civilian factory in here. The manpower sucks, but otherwise, this is fine. Plus, we can defend this region better. So yeah, a lot of bonuses, but also some negatives. And we might get it back. Now, the Soviet Union is influencing us, meaning we will get some communist support and also meaning very soon they will declare war on us. We also finished this focus on the side, meaning we can finally get this one. And our military is still not very prepared, but I think if I put everything into Space Marines and we do be importing guns now, we should have this. A big should, but we should have this. Okay, I just noticed we need another year to fill up the Space Marines. And I gotta be honest, that's just not possible. So we're gonna go down to a 28 with only 1 tank for now, which is more possible. But over time, I will make this a bigger unit. For now, we just need a fightable unit that can actually defend itself, but later on, I will turn it up to be more tanky. And yeah, the international market is really saving me here. Importing artillery, support equipment, and guns. And we nearly caught up with everything. Really good. Only really missing artillery, so I'm gonna put a bit more into that. Very good. So this focus is done, meaning that the Soviets basically will declare war on us in the next few months, maybe weeks, maybe days. I would say we go down the economic focuses now. I just noticed I lied. There's 135-day focus here. Let's go. And I'm gonna save for political power for conscription laws, because those are very expensive to increase. And I'm pretty sure we have to go up to service by requirement, otherwise we won't win this. We also need a coast guard, and right now, manpower-wise, it's not looking good. Yeah, goodbye Poland, I'm sorry. In the background, focus tree-wise, I'm gonna do nothing special anymore. I will just industrialize, try to go down for the research as soon as I can, but there's a lot of cis here, so I'm gonna do that first. And take this focus over here later. We're actually in plus with tanks now, that is good. Only artillery missing, and now that's important. And now we got this too, very good. Yeah, we are only missing manpower, around 150k. That's a lot of manpower we're missing, but we are slowly and surely mobilizing. Right now, we had 4% of our right now possible 7.5. So we're getting more manpower over time. The problem is we don't really have time, but I will immediately pop out those Coast Guard divisions and give them their own order. Those are really not good divisions, but all I have to do is stop the Soviet Union from landing anywhere. And if they do that, we have basically won. They're going into Finland now, meaning they will come very soon for us. But if we get the manpower we need, we should be prepared. Might be also a good moment to get the democratic reformer, because we do be getting more and more communism support here. So our manpower situation is still looking kind of dire. So what I will do now to really fix it is put 1 more tank in and literally just remove 2 infantry. Our stats are very all over the place now, but the armor power division has increased drastically, meaning that I might save a lot of manpower by having this. And while we mobilize, we will increase our divisions more and more. So this is here to save us manpower, meaning we're only missing 100k, which is still a lot, but less. For the final preparations, I'm going to upgrade our railway connection over here for more supply in the region. And I'm going to build 1 level of anti-air in all of the provinces in the north, because we'll try to bomb our railway a lot, and this way we should kind of stop that. So the ultimatum is here. I will stall for a little bit more time. Let's hope this goes well. We have like 13 days. Otherwise, I think we will say automatically yes, which would be bad. We are still missing around, still 100k men in the field. This is drastic. It's mostly our Coast Guard, but yeah, it kind of still sucks that we are missing so much manpower. So 2 days left. We say no. Beat 4. They got the war goal and they're going in. Okay, immediately we're gonna go to service by requirement. We need so much manpower. They will probably just immediately start bombing us. Yeah, look at that. And I'm gonna invest a bit more into anti-air in those regions. Then we go back to a mill build. So they're starting to attack. We are holding. Very good. And we're starting to shoot down the planes. Very good. We're gonna get ourselves the logistic focus and theater training. Very good spirits for less supply consumption and faster trade experience for generals. Very good to farm those over here, especially for forests. And yeah, for now, it's just about holding out, shooting down the planes. Right now, they have a lot of cast up. If you shoot down the cast, they basically lose the ability to push 100%. So yeah, big mission now, holding the line and not giving up. The initial push is going to be the hardest because the Soviet Union has a lot of planes, but once we start to really thin them out, we should have this. And yeah, you might start to see the real challenge here. It's not about getting space marines. We have the production now. It's about getting enough manpower to man the space marine divisions. That is the real challenge. I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna build any forts down here, but this bottleneck could actually be very useful for forts, so I'm actually gonna build that. They're really trying to break through here, and I can't concentrate on looking everything all the time. And if I look away for a second, I might just be able to push it. Something you might think right now, and a good strategy I had, but completely backfired once, is falling back to defend less land with more divisions, which sounds really cool on paper, but then you start to think about it, we have no resources. Meaning, this is our lifeline of importing steel. If we go to here, our only trade routes are via water. The Soviets own quite a bit of submarines. You might not know that, but they do. So if you retreat and give this up over here, you are slowly but surely dying. But we do be starting to really shoot down the planes now. If we keep it up like this, they might actually lose them sooner than I thought. Problem is they do be really pushing hard right now, like those tank divisions over here. Having supply and being able to push really hurts. Same over here. Basically all the provinces where they have a lot of stuff around to really push into one province is in danger. Losses wise, you're looking pretty good so far, but 20k, that does still hurt. 20k does still hurt. But we are mobilizing up to 15% now, and we're not even up to 7. The mobilization is really, really slow, but once it trickles in, we got this. We're looking at around 750 manpower in the field once we're done, and that's more than enough to man everything. The important thing now is that we don't lose too much manpower against these pushes here. Ah yes, this really doesn't help. I think I kind of stabilized the front line, and what I basically did is reduce the template by a lot. Like, this seems to work. It is good enough. I was really starving equipment too now, so yeah, you see, like, my artillery is still not looking good, my guns are still not perfect, my support equipment is still looking dire, but we are building more. This fort over here did help a lot, but now I want to go into industry, because long-term forts are very useless, but I did nearly lose like 100,000 men now, which is bad. Good news is that we did really stabilize the front line. We reduced it. They really did a push through and nearly got all the way to the railway. I pushed it back, and while all of this fighting happened, they basically stopped owning CAS. The only CAS they have right now is 100, and they had like 3 times of that before. Meaning they can't man any more CAS because they produce slower than we shoot them down, meaning that their air force has become kind of useless. This is basically the moment where our divisions start to shine and their divisions really stop working. I'm also going to get relief of command for extra army experience, and that should make farming experience here a lot easier. Yeah, we're shooting down so much planes now, they can't recover them anymore. We have basically won this, at least defensively. What we need to do now is build up an army to actually fight the Soviet Union and wait for more manpower to trickle in, because this is still not enough. So some more time has passed, and we can finally research the super heavy battleship. Because yeah, sadly I meant that serious. I'm taking the challenge. We're building it, okay? And I had to say, don't underestimate this challenge. I thought this is gonna be super easy. Space Marines are strong, but if you don't have manpower to man your Space Marines, they're really, really weak. Because right now they push through here, and the sole reason for this is because I had to look away to manage something else, and they pushed here. The Soviets have endless, like especially the Soviets as an enemy, have endless manpower and resources. So now that they finally stop having planes to damage my Space Marine divisions, I can kinda hold. But you see how empty of a husk my divisions look like after all of this fighting. The only divisions that are in good shape is the Coast Guard, and if I pull away the Coast Guard, they will just naval invade me, which they tried many times already. Good news though, I used the momentum of pushing them back to do a counterattack, meaning I own the only supply up in the region for them, and the only supply they can get now is from here or Leningrad. So these divisions here will really start to starve very soon. I mean, here they have it easier, they have this supply up over here, but besides that, supply here is gonna be really hard for the Soviets now. Yeah, they already have the red trade area. This is good. So we'll still consolidate a good defensive line and use this opportunity finally stop having high losses, because I did lose an enormous amount of manpower defending here. Once again, Base Marines are kind of useless if you can't man them. So So main mission now, take half a year, rebuilding the economy, recruiting more people. If necessary, increase the recruitment law, but I kind of doubt that we do need that. And yeah, I think we got this. The hardest part is done. Now it's about taking as much of the Soviet Union before the Germans arrive, which will be very soon. So we will probably use the German momentum to push ourselves and get as much as possible. We did weaken them so much that once the Germans arrive, they will just fall apart. But still, we want most of the land for ourselves. Very important, what I did forget is dedicate some factories to repairing. Otherwise, you will always have damaged tracks, which don't work. Starving your supply. Yeah, this is really fast repaired. And after all of this, we've only mobilized 10% of our possible 15%. So increasing our conscription law right now would do nothing. Good news, we're not in the absolute negative anymore. We're missing like 50k manpower, which is nothing compared to the 150k before. If you count the losses into that, we actually already would have been filled up by now. Yeah, we also had to survive. Talking about surviving, I didn't lie about those naval landings. They are really annoying. But if you have a weak division like everywhere, this is like easily defendable. They're trying a force attack. Good luck. Anyways, first decision, heavy gun. I'm gonna do something a bit risky and push for Vilnius for the sole reason that this is a core of ours and also a supply hub in the region. So securing this could be very useful for multiple reasons, meaning I shall try. And yeah, this will take a while, but they just lose so much men here for no reason. So good for me. So we gained the supply hub, plus the manpower. Very good. Meaning we have actually positive manpower in forever now. Our oil situation looking a little bit dire, so I'm gonna import some oil again. And equipment-wise, very slowly but surely we do be catching up. I'm now at the point where I actually just let the naval landings land and crush them because, you know, 3 kills. That's actually worked quite nicely. And yeah, we've basically encircled this over here. I just don't have enough army to crush this. And I would like to encircle them over here rather than over here to get more stuff killed. Then I might need this tile over here, so let's get that. Yeah, that will be an amazing encirclement. I have a few more half-prepared divisions ready too, so I'm gonna pop these out and give them to any leader and bring them into the battle. What is better than a prepared army? A half-prepared army, exactly. And that's the moment the Germans declare war. I would say good timing for that, because these troops are definitely gone now, and we can ask them for military access. Goodbye, Soviet army over here. Yeah, these troops are all gone, and we should prepare a general push basically everywhere. Yeah, the push is going quite well. Wartime election, sure, we can use that to get some support back. What I'm trying right now is basically take as much of the front line as possible, so I don't conquer land for the Germans. Kind of hard, because the Germans have so much more momentum than me. Yeah, you see exactly, they got the province again here. But it is certainly working, especially in the north. We're basically looking at Moscow right now, and if we could get that, it would be huge. So, I cut off the Germans pretty well. I stopped the military access because I just kept on giving them land, which was stupid. I have to deal a little bit of front lines now. Also on this side, the Japanese declared war on the Philippines, somehow meaning that the US wants to join my faction. Sure, US, join. I'm just gonna immediately call them into the war against the Soviet Union, and we just started the Third World War before the second one even ended. Anyways, let's continue pushing for Moscow, and I can ask him for endless equipment. Thank you, US. This is actually amazing. It's good to have the US on your side, isn't it? In the background, Stalingrad has fallen. Yeah, the Germans are pushing pretty aggressively, but to be fair, me too. And yeah, I'm in Moscow. What's the war participation? I'm at 42%. How did the Germans cut? Oh my god, the Germans got so much war participation. That is actually crazy. Might be a hard peace treaty, not gonna lie. We did get Leningrad though. That's the northern front one, and yeah, I think they're just falling apart now. Cool thing about this timeline, Finland actually survived. You know what, I'm gonna give them a non-aggression pact. Yeah, and we are demolishing the Soviets. We do have German help right now, but I gotta be honest, like 1 year of defending after I said we're kind of stabilized now and a good army build-up, I think we could have done it on our own because the Soviets are already like, you see how much they crumble when an army just pushes them over. Yeah, problem now, I have to burn like everything I own just to get a few more provinces, so this kind of does suck. But yeah, ending the war earlier, kind of good. We might start the next war against the Germans right after that, and we have the US on our side, so it is kind of possible. We just need a corridor to Sweden for trading and hope that kind of Finland takes this stuff here in the north, and we should be safe. For manpower, I'm gonna go to local autonomy to gain a little bit of compliance in Leningrad and Moscow, and I did kind of neglect tank technology, so let's do that. Mexico wants to join the Baltic Entente. I always forget that they have an event to join the US and not the allies. Yeah, sure. Welcome, Mexico. I love the Baltic Entente. Not gonna lie, I love this. This is amazing. If you look at the map, we're kind of stealthy next to the Axis because our color is kind of both dark. I'm just saying, we might be able to sneak up on them. Oh, super heavy battleship. Let's go. The dream. Okay, what we need to do now is actually... Oh, I didn't build anything in a while. Build dockyards. This is the Estonia Democratic Space Marine Naval build. Late game. Oh, I forgot to get naval experience. Okay, I'm gonna get this dude and then we build a battleship. Yeah, I'm just helping the Axis a little bit in the south. No land that I'm gaining, but the faster this war is over, the faster we can prepare for the next one. Yeah, good encirclements. Let's go. Good encirclements. Delicious. Oh, Oh, I forgot that the first battleship is free. That's good. I don't know when it changed this, or if this always was like that, but I like it. Let's build it though. It's gonna be so expensive for no reason. Oh, naval dockyards. Let's go. And yeah, in the background, I did finish like all of the economic stuff, except the investments over here, where I'm still not 100% sure. Because if I go to war with the Axis, this becomes kind of useless. This on the other side, I mean, we're trying to build a big ship, so I'm just saying, maybe ally. Oh, the Soviet Union is capitulating now at 100%. We got 37%. We actually got quite a good amount of points. I'm gonna try as much as possible to kind of secure a northern defense perimeter, but we shall see. And yes, I can't puppet anyone, if that is a question that comes up, because I'm democratic. The puppets I can create are kind of useless. Yeah, I kind of hate the HOI4 peace treaty system sometimes, because I give up land, the Germans take it, and they can still demand stuff that just inflates in value. It is, you know, I do try to shake a lot, but me getting this, and now not having points to negotiate this anymore. I like the system if you compare to the old system. I don't know if you remember that. There was no system. People just got stuff. This is better, but I think they should still revisit this. Might just steal some navy. Peace treaty done. They got this province over here and this over here. I did give Finland the land over here, so I'm kind of safe from the Axis from there. This we can just conquer. Yeah, but the rest we need to kind of build up, because we need to build up compliance. We need to build up a big army, and then we might think about helping the allies. And let's just notice the Soviet Union survived. I hate you, AI. I can say nothing else. Like, they fight me tooth and nail to get this province over here, and don't take this. Oh my god. Like, oh, gotta stop molding now. This is not worth it, but you see how it's stupid, right? Anyways, we're gonna upgrade back to 35th Space Marines. You might ask yourself with what manpower. You will see very soon, because once we get a little bit of compliance in these regions here, we will have more than enough manpower. Might take a year, but I'm waiting. That is worth it. Don't forget, we have the US in our faction, and they won't leave, hopefully. I might go down to export focus, so I do be trading a lot of our civs away. And I love that, according to this, we have generated 0.1% world tension. This is so good. Yeah, we are democratic. We've basically liberated this area, okay? Therefore, no world tension, obviously. We also conquered a land warfare facility. Would be a waste to not use that. Very good. Flamethrower tanks. Why not? And I don't know when it happened, but Brazil joined our faction. I think they also just joined the US faction, but it's kind of funny. So I would also say, let's renew allied trade. There are good modifiers in there, and it puts me back to free trade. Why does this always happen to me? Excess investment is so much better, though. If there's a manpower modifier, I'm gonna take this. I mean, there's the opposite of a manpower modifier. Total mobilization. That would be bad, but the 10% factory output is so good. But you know what? I'm gonna stay with renewed allied trade. The consumer goods factory factor is quite nice, especially because we have a bigger industry now. It might look very small, but once we grow the compliance over here, which we really got no chance to do this far, you know, we did just conquer this when Germany started pushing. We will have quite a good time. Plus, down the line, we get off-map factories, which are very good, because they can't be bombed. By the way, remember when I said I want to invest more into support equipment? No comment. I'm just gonna research the truck now, and we shall not talk about this, at least at engineering companies. Also, very good modifier for a Space Marine army. Cheaper tank production. I'm gonna take that. I can also ask Brazil for manpower. Very good. That's a lot of manpower for garrison, meaning I should get a lot of manpower back for my own army. Yeah, let's go. But yeah, this is a very weird timeline where the UK is at war with everyone. The US is only at war with Japan because they never joined the Allies, meaning they're not at war with Germany. Now I'm preparing for a war with Germany, but very late game, like in 2 years from now. So yeah, let's see how this ends. I'm kind of interested. Mostly just waiting for the compliance and using the time to build up the equipment I need. And just to have it ready, I'm gonna justify the war goal now. Okay, I just did that focus over here. Selected the German Reich as the true enemy. Got a free fort on every border province to Germany. Yeah, I guess we're a bit more fortified now. I never coded this. I like dynamic focuses like that. That's actually really cool. But yeah, the compliance is starting to look very good. In all of the Soviet Union, we're up to 35% in just half a year, maybe a year. I'm actually not sure, but it is going pretty well. Poland is, you know what, you're gonna go to local police force if you try to be annoying. Yeah, Poland, chill, please. Come on. The rest, though, really going well. Once we get to 60% compliance, we get 20% more recruitable population, which is not as much as it sounds, but because with a lot of the big states of the Soviet Union, like Moscow, it is actually a lot, because Moscow has 10 million manpower. Normally in those kind of conquests, I like to go for Pakistan, because they already have some compliance and have stayed with like 15 million manpower. And if you take over these states, you kind of keep some of that manpower. So Moscow, still very worth it. Same with Leningrad. We should be able to build up an army with non-core manpower. And I did just notice the US sent a lot of their troops over, so when this war starts, we are not alone. And that might actually be a good reason to attack rather earlier than later. Already planning a fallback line for losing. Thank you, US. Thank you for believing in me. Okay, focus tree-wise, we're kind of done now, because I don't really need airplane stuff, and the Navy stuff, you know, we built it at full capacity, so waste of time. I will just do the continuous focus of resistance suppression, important because, you know, less resistance, more compliance. Very good. And yeah, we're already at 42. So very soon we got what we want. I don't know when, but the US did join the war against the Germans, which is good for me. That might be the reason to have all the troops here. So actually really good. Problem is that Italy is actually holding out quite well. On the other hand, they are burning a lot of manpower here. So yeah. Oh, poor Turkey just joined the allies. Yeah, in this timeline, they're not just winning yet. And it's maybe my fault. I will rectify that. Trust me. Oh, Germany's at war with China now. What? That's actually good. Oh, they will burn so much manpower here. This is amazing. Because the Japanese are losing, obviously. They are burned out. They don't have a lot of resources. And the allies are 100% winning their naval warfare, especially the US. So even though the Germans seem very strong on my border, they actually don't. Like one guy. Yeah, I think we can crack them. But we need these armies to be deployed. And for that, we need a bit more manpower. And for that, we need the 60% compliance in the Soviet Union. But once we get this rolling, we can go to all adult serf, no problem. We do have good war support. And the casualty modifier is nearly gone. Bad choice, Spain. Very bad choice. We're also done with the doctrines now. Maybe we should actually finally research recon companies and stuff. I still haven't done it. I'm like, oh yeah, I should do it. And then I never did it again. Oh, it's such a classic. So I'm at war with Germany. And you might ask yourself now, how did this happen? Very good question. I've no idea. I went away from my PC to get myself a coffee. And I'm like, yeah, I can keep the game running. I just need to wait anyways. Turns out Germany declares war on me. Maybe. I imagine that would happen. But, you know, like my front lines are completely open. I have a few half-prepared troops. How close are we now to? We are 2% missing. Okay, if you can hold Moscow with like a skeleton crew, that would be very good. All adult serf, 100%. This is a defensive war. Very good. You get all the war support from being in a defensive war. And the US has troops here. I think we got this. We could actually just take Memel right now, so I'm just gonna do that. If we take this pocket here, that would actually be huge. Making front lines in like situations like this is kind of dreadful sometimes, not gonna lie. But yeah, I will just order one general to take this, and I'm just gonna give up this. I mean, it's kind of sad because of the manpower. There's quite a lot of manpower here. But if you can take this here, but they're already very low supplied anyways, we might have a good fighting chance. And I'm pretty sure that the allies plus the US will send more troops into my direction, making this easier. But yeah, they have no supply in here. We should have this. I do be working on a plan B, but I think if we can close this pocket over here, we're already a big step closer to winning this. For now, we just have to fight defensively, build up manpower, and win. I just noticed if we're pushing, we're actually just winning. Yeah, our divisions are really good. Oh my god, the 35 with are really strong. And they have no army here. Could I just, you know, push? Could I just push with my army? We just take Königsberg. I will be disrupting the plans over here with spies. But yeah, we got Königsberg. Okay, apparently we have a strong army. The problem is they did free Poland over here. So I guess I can ask for military access. And most of the land goes to Poland. But this way at least I have a unified front line, which is very much necessary right now. I guess we are the ones that free the Polish. And you know what? It kind of feels good to like liberate for once instead of to just take. So why not be the good guys for once? You know what? Scraping the barrel. Let's have some fun. Soviet Union is... Oh, it's at 60%, but this is not active yet. 59.7. We're so close. If we get this active, I'm gonna push again because then it doesn't matter because we can't lose it that fast. Come on. Activate. Yes, it's active. Our manpower. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Finally filling up, meaning that these troops over here get their much needed support, push everywhere, get this encirclement killed, and our main army is pushing into Germany. Very good. We did lose Kazan, which does suck, but what can you do? Huge encirclement here. If the Germans lose that, they can't really recover. This was a big pocket of infantry. Yeah, very good. We had 9% war participation already, and that is the big war going in the background, by the way. This is actual World War II. So having that kinda amazing, not gonna lie. Bad news at the moment. We are currently losing a lot of our resources. We have to be kind of selective in what we want to build. Guns 100% a priority. Good news though, super heavy battleship. Look at that. Actually got it. What a beauty. Germany declared war on the Soviet Union. I think that was gonna be a bit easier this time around. Big encirclement. They tried a very deep push and I just let it happen, and now yeah, goodbye German units. In this game, every bold push of the eye is a potential encirclement for you. Another encirclement next to Moscow, securing that city for me for good, because they really pushed around that. Secured the river, but you know, don't want to risk anything. Yeah, if you want to be conservative about your manpower, what I recommend is open supply hubs, push for them, bring the enemy out of supply, then use the situation of them having low supply to just destroy them. Right here, I came from the south, I basically cut them off from supply, the only supply being over here, which is quite the reach. So these are basically out of supply, even before the encirclement, and I'm just doing the rest. And at the same time, this also allows me to conserve manpower because I have a less bigger front line now. This bulge is now more straight. And yes, I still have no manpower. Okay, be quiet. Germans also have 0 manpower right now, by the way. So that is good. I'm also gonna add a flamethrower tank and recon companies. We have enough equipment. We have enough manpower. And it should make our divisions a lot stronger. So to disrupt the status quo a little bit, I'm gonna attack Vichy France. For some reason, the AI didn't do it this time around. Meaning that they're finally in the war and that the US will attack them. Very good. This should really interrupt the power of the Axis in the Mediterranean. So pretty good. And yeah, this is kind of wild war. I wouldn't have thought that this playthrough will be so sweaty. But my god, it really is. I might get a lot out of this because I'm like at 15% war participation. If you think about it, it's the entirety of the Axis. If I just want to have some land over here, I will obviously get it. I mean, I say obvious now before everything goes wrong, but you know what I mean. I even have manpower. I have equipment. The only reason I'm not pushing currently is because I have no fuel. Yeah, all of my trade is being intercepted at the moment, so no fuel for me for now. But I am researching the alternatives, so we should have this very soon. But I still try to push a little bit just to thin out the Germans a bit more. A D-Day is happening. That is going well. I will literally just push. I have no more manpower. I do have fuel problems. It's the only reason I'm not clicking the push button right now, because I wouldn't know for how long I could do it. Oh, to be struggling with artillery right now, though, so I should invest into that. Japan is gone. That makes this a lot easier. We have a Chinese, American, Japan. Very good. I'm also doing some more bold pushes to reconquer land over here. It might be Russian land, but to be honest, we are the Baltic Federation, and we define what the Baltic is, okay? So yes, this is a reconquest. But yeah, we're really getting some progress over here. We're also starving the supply out. That's very good. And we're starting to have some fuel again. That's also very good. We're not in a position where we can trade again, but we are losing less, which is a win. And I think it's going so well. Just reconquer a little bit of land over here. Good for the manpower. It is very good for the resource pool. Let's do it. Now that we have the technology, let's build a lot of synthetic refineries because we do really need them. I am running out of oil. It is bad. And yeah, a few encirclements basically later, and our situation is looking very good. I did consolidate most of the supply hubs in the Soviet Union area, and we're encircling more and more of the German army. The allies are starting to land over here, so I maybe should start a general push, but I would like this refineries to at least finish a little bit before we do that. Fall of Berlin? What happened over here? Okay, a big push is going on. Didn't even notice that the allies are getting so bold. No, please, communist China, don't join the Axis. Oh, yeah, war of the Axis. I don't care then. Join the allies. Okay, that's a problem for the allies, not for me then. Yeah, we don't have any fuel yet, but if we do all of these pushes correct, we might get a lot of war participation. We're already at 40%. That's the wrong war though, because the UK doesn't count. Okay, I think this happening really screwed up these stats, so this is a lie. I'm maybe at 20%. Oh, but it feels good to be able to trade again. Problem is I have no convoys to trade with. Oh my god. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna ask the US to send me convoys. Yeah, small little encirclement over here. Looking pretty good. But yeah, jokes aside, this is it. Like, Germans having to hold all of this is so unnecessary and draining them so much manpower. And we are in Berlin. I mean, with we are, I mean the Polish. I helped, but to be fair, I did more focus on consolidating my border, which is the resources I get. Goodbye, big chunk of the German army. Now looking at nearly 4 million losses just from me. That is crazy. I have like 500,000, which is still enormous. I mean, if you saw the front line from before, my army was not prepared for this. I mean, hell, I wasn't even at the PC when the war started, okay? I think I recovered this quite well. I don't know, I have the tendency to create my own disaster saves, but I guess it keeps it interesting. I wish I would plan them though, because I don't. Yeah, and taking the oil fields down here, kind of deja vu here. Not gonna lie. I feel like I've done this before to defeat another big blob, but who knows? Yeah, by the way, I totally forgot I was at free trade again. So I went to limited export. That fixed my fuel. That fixed everything. The only thing it didn't fix is steel, but my demand for steel is a little bit out of hand, so that's fair. Oh, Romania has capitulated. Actually, very good. Meaning we can take most of this for basically free. Also pull off my troops from Poland, because I just gave them a lot of war participation. Turns out they can hold this without me for like a few seconds and completely die, because the British prioritize sniping fuel rather than helping the ally, which I have to do, and I'm not willing to do for free anymore. So I'm prioritizing my war goals now and take what I can. Or because I don't want Poland to die and my front line to be open. I'm gonna send a small force over here to hold this back, but kind of ridiculous that I have to do cleanup here. Come on, guys. Allies, hold together. Not gonna lie, against the odds, Turkey did survive, so I head up to them. We did secure ourselves the fuel, also very good. And I think we can just do a combined strike to just defeat the Germans, because they do a big counter push here. I might need to reprioritize this entire front line again. But let's just finish cleaning up this over here and then take care of that. So, this cleaned up. Let's take care of the main front. I just clicked on Germany and I noticed that's not the usual leader. That's a different guy. Yeah, I think since Berlin has been taken, leadership changed. I mean, they do be holding tooth and nail trying to survive here, but now that and France is back. Spain has fallen. Basically, all of this has been consolidated. I just have a small force over here holding the back because they have no supply ups. They're basically just starving over here. My full force is going against this now. Mussolini is also gone now. That is good. Yeah, Italian Civil War has started. Puppet going to UK, which is fine. I had like no troops there. We should push now because a lot of the troops are now gone. I do love when the AI is just really annoying. Like Britain, let me just take this land, which is bordered by me, and not like be at front lines. You know what? I'm just gonna ask for military access. I'm really annoyed always redoing the front lines. I'm getting most of this anyways. Yeah, this war is over. Germany capitulated. That's even before Hungary. It's only Hungary. Oh, it's so funny that Hungary survived longer than Germany. They really don't want to have a new treaty. Fighting tooth and nail. But yeah, we're done. I don't have the most points. That goes to Great Britain. But I think if I just take the territory over here that I want, I should get everything that I demand. Should. They're already fighting me. This is so stupid. So, peace treaty is done. And not gonna lie, this time around, I basically got what I wanted. Yes, the allies immediately took everything I wanted, but I had enough points to push through my demands, and we have created a good Baltic Federation, I would say. And don't forget, we are democratic, so we are the good guys. Final thoughts, Space Marines are pretty good, but I think this video showed quite well that they can't save every situation, and if you have no manpower, you will struggle. Overall, I really enjoyed playing this campaign. Very sweaty, very fun. Just noticed that they punished Himmler into Mongolia. That's some Kaiser Redux lore here. Oh no. But yeah, anyways, these were my division, plus garrison. My patrons, I love you. Until next time, bye.